Continuing on our theme of deleting Google Analytics and switching over to a more privacy-focused analytics platform for your website, today I'm going to show you what's involved in deleting Google Analytics completely and archiving all of your data, all of your analytics data, so that you can refer to it later down the line. Hiya folks, welcome back to the Small Business Toolbox. I'm Andy Mack and I've been self-employed for ages and ages. Today I'm just going to do a little bit more about the whole Google Analytics subject, and then I think we're probably going to draw a line under it because we've talked about it quite a bit. But just so you understand the relevance and importance of this, Google Analytics is probably the most popular analytics platform on the internet for working out how many people are visiting your website. Google Analytics is really good, but it does have various privacy implications, the not least of which is that it does put cookies onto the machine of the person visiting your website, and as we've discussed in previous videos, that means you need to get cookie consent before you can switch Google Analytics on. Now, most websites are completely ignoring this, but they are breaking the law. From my personal perspective, I don't really need the depth of information that Google Analytics provides anyway, so in the interests of keeping my websites cookie free, I've switched over to using Koko Analytics, which I talked about last time. Really good, dead simple, very lightweight analytics plugin for WordPress. No cookies, and of course if you don't have any cookies being placed on your visitors' machines, then you don't have to have annoying cookie warnings on your website. So as I say, in this video I'm just going to take you through the last stages of escaping the clutches of Google Analytics. If you followed the information I provided last time about installing Koko Analytics and taking Google Analytics off your website, then you shouldn't be collecting the analytics information anymore, but you'll still have all of that information sitting on your GA account. And if you want to completely deactivate that account, then I would strongly recommend backing up that data first. So for example, if you've had Google Analytics running on your website for like 5 years, that's 5 years worth of information about how your website has grown over time that you will completely lose if you switch it off. So I do advise that you back up your Google Analytics data first before deactivating your GA account completely. Remember, there's 2 stages to this. There is switching it off on your website side, and then there's switching off your actual Google Analytics account. I'm assuming you've already switched it off on your website, which means taking out that little bit of code that goes into the header of each page in WordPress. But as I say, you still need to actually delete the data off Google's servers. Anyway, it's really straightforward, so let me show you how I go about it. So there's 4 main reports that I'm going to archive, and that is going to be the active users report, the audience overview report, the location report, and the device overview report. So I'll show you how I'm going to go about doing that. Obviously, there are many more data points that you can get out of Google Analytics, and you can extract as much data as you like. But for me, that's enough of an overview that I've got kind of a historic reference of how the site was performing up until the point that I deleted Google Analytics, and it means I'm then relatively comfortable to delete all of the analytics data, and I've got enough information to refer back to if I need it. So first of all, active users report. To get to that, just scroll down from the home page, and I use this default report here. How are your active users trending over time? Active users report. So you're not going off this bit here, but you're going to click on the bit that says active user report, and then that brings us into this screen here, and you can see where I switched Google Analytics off on the website side of things. So really from the 30th of August it wasn't gathering any information about this website anymore, so I'm going to run all of my reports up to the 30th of August. Now for your start date, you're going to have to work out when did you start using Google Analytics. Now, I know for this particular site, it was back at the beginning of 2018, I think. I can't remember exactly when. So I'm going to go from January 2018. I'm going to try and work it out. Unfortunately, the Google Analytics date picker is awful, and it doesn't let you type a date in, and you can't tell it what year you want. So you're going to have to just, unless anyone knows a better way, you just have to scroll back. So if you've got a lot of analytics data, this is a little bit of a pain in the neck, but I'm going to go back to 1st of January 2018, and I'm going to take that up to 30th of August 2020. And apply. And there's our website data there. So that's all looking good. Now, you can see we don't need to capture this information right at the start here because Google Analytics wasn't switched on. So I'm going to start the report from, let's see, I'll start from the 11th of April. So I'm just going to change the capture time and I'm going to change that to 11th of April. I think it's still set to 30th of August, but just worth double checking. That's fine, and apply. And then I like to have the 7-day active user and 14-day active user averages switched on. So that gives me a pretty decent data set over time if I ever want to refer back to this. And then all I do is I click export. For this particular report, I'm going to do it as a PDF and I'm going to export the raw data as well, just in Excel format. That'll be fine. So I'm going to do PDF first, and then I'll also do the Excel version. So there we go. So they're sitting there. I'm just going to copy those into a folder. Then the next report, back to the home page. And I'm going to do the audience overview report. So that's this one right at the top here, audience overview. Click on that. And once again, it's reset the date range. So you need to make note of the date range that you're going to be looking at. So for this one, it was the 11th of April 2018 to the 30th of August. Again, I'm going to export the PDF and the Excel version. Don't be tempted to start clicking around. Sometimes it can take a little while for the report to generate, so just wait until the report has generated before you ask for the next one. So I'm going to do the Excel one. And that's those two done, so I'm going to copy those. Then the next one, back to the home page again. And this time it's a location report. So this is telling me where visitors to this particular website are coming from. Scroll down a little bit, it says sessions by country. Here we go, location overview. I'm just going to click that. Once again, set your date range. For this particular report, I'm just going to do the PDF. And then the final report, back to the home screen. And I'm going to do the device overview report. That's quite a handy one to know what sort of devices your users have been using over time. So scroll down and it's this one here, what are your top devices? And it says mobile overview. It seems to do the job, so I'm just going to use that one. Once again, put your date range in and export. Again, I'm just doing a PDF version of this report. And that's it done. So I'll just show you the reports that we've got back. Here's the folder that I dumped them all in. So we've got the active users report. That was pretty much as you saw it on the screen. And then this is the actual raw data that's in Excel. So you can see we've got data set 1, 2, 3, and 4 down the bottom there. So you can do whatever you want with that. And you can literally recreate the graphs that I just showed you if you want. We've got 874 lines of data in data set. Well, it'll probably, yeah, that's probably correct because it'll be 1 line per day, isn't it? So yeah, so there's the 4 data sets from that. You can do whatever you like with that, recreate your graphs, whatever. Audience overview, very similar story as before. We've got the full history of when Google Analytics has been running on this particular website, and we've got all sorts of good information here about number of users, number of sessions, return visitors, and all that sort of thing. Does the job. And again, we've got the raw data for that one. I'll show you the location report quickly as well. So location report wise, we've got this tiny little map. I think we can zoom in on it. Yeah, it's not the best of maps, but you get the general idea. There's probably ways and means of exporting a better map than that out of it if you desperately wanted that. But the key thing is that I've got the information here in a table. That's really the stuff that I was after, where users have been coming from. So for this particular site, mostly from the States, 17% from the UK, etc. And then finally, we've got the device overview report. So this graph doesn't really mean very much, but it's information a bit further down here that tells you mobile, desktop and tablet. So that's a split out that I want: 56% mobile, 37% desktop, 5% tablet. And that is essentially it. That's enough information for me that I can delete the Google Analytics account and get rid of all the data. I've got this, make sure you've got it backed up, because there's no way of getting this back once you've deleted your Google Analytics account. To delete the actual data off Google, if you do want to delete it, I mean, it's up to you. There's no particular harm that I can think of just leaving it there for reference. But if you do want to delete it and get rid of the data completely, the way I would do it is I would go to admin at the bottom left there. Obviously make sure you're on the correct account, and I just click on property settings, and then we've got move to rubbish bin. Let me actually delete it, because then I can show you, and I think I can restore it anyway. If not, it doesn't matter, I've got all the data. But move to rubbish bin, delete property. Are you sure you want to do that? Yes. So you can see it's completely gone from there, so you've got no analytics data for that account anymore. Just to verify that, if I go to the home page, you can see it's gone from my accounts there. But if I go to rubbish bin, so this is in admin down the bottom there, and you should see rubbish bin. I did actually have to do an F5 there to refresh the page. It wasn't showing up, so an F5, and that brought that up. And then tick the box, restore. I'll just go back on here. I'll do another F5 just to refresh. And you can see the property information is all back. I should be able to go onto the home screen and have a look at all the stats again. And there we go, we're back to where we were before. I can't actually find a way of forcing it to empty the trash, and I think you've just got to wait. It says here that this will have final deletion on the 27th of October 2020, so I don't think there's a lot you can do about that. Let us know in the comments if you know a way of emptying the trash on this. I don't. But that's fine. I have no problems with that. So there you go, folks. I hope you found that useful. Let us know in the comments if you've had any problems getting rid of Google Analytics, or if you've found other analytics platforms that you think are worth using. As I say, I have looked into using Matomo in the past, and it is really good. For me, Koko Analytics does the job absolutely perfectly. One other thing as well, if you are supporting this channel on Patreon, there's a brand new members area on the Small Business Toolbox website. It does everything that Patreon does and more, and it's going to basically take over from Patreon over time. So it would be awesome if you want to support this channel directly. I do rely on direct support to make videos on this channel, so I'm absolutely going to be expanding that over time. If you want to be one of the pioneers on the platform, then just head over to smallbusinesstoolbox.uk/members and you can join on there. Your support is really, really appreciated, and I will be making a lot more member-only content to help you guys out on kind of niche subjects that don't necessarily fit particularly well with YouTube. And you can also comment on articles and get replies from me on there as well. It's a much easier way for me to interact with you guys. So if you do support me on Patreon, it would be massively appreciated if you could switch over to the members area on smallbusinesstoolbox.uk. Anyway, as per usual, please take care, folks. I wish you every success with your small business, and I shall see you next time. Tatty bye.